to get this thing set up here. Hi guys, I wanted to show you this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here. Let me see if I can get this. Jennifer Aniston, another contact from Jennifer Aniston. I sent her the video I made yesterday, right? And here's the message. And then she asks on this one, you're okay. Alright, let's see if I can get it in here. Can I trust you with my mobile number? Well, of course. I wouldn't give it to anybody. I wouldn't pass out you guys' numbers either. I'll give mine freely, but like I told her, you can block anything. You can block anything, and the only reason to get together would be for inspiration and good ideas. Well, aside from romantic interests, but yeah, well, alright, thought I'd share that in the beginning of this. Hello once again, and welcome back to another possibly incongruent episode. Highly unlikely, although because I do listen to them prior to posting, I know it doesn't seem like it. But thank you for joining today's haphazard production. I was just giving some thought to energy and how words are energy, or actually it's what people agree on is what my consideration was. And when you think about words being energy, if I were to talk about a theory to you, so many people think that when you talk about a theory that you're convinced or believe in the theory, and that's not necessarily the case, especially with the haphazard universe production. I make some things quite clear and other things a bit discombobulated. Now getting back to energy and words being energy and theory in itself. If I were to theorize that, well, if words are energy, then I should be able to say a word that emits light, that has enough energy to create light. Now that's a theoretical idea. Not necessarily something that I believe in, but I can't say I don't believe in it because I think it might be possible. The important thing for me is the data and details and the consideration of these things in relation to each one of our lives in our haphazard universes. And so let's just hop right into the Haphazard Universe channel. And in my playlists channel, you will see I'm beginning to organize these playlists, and I don't even know how to post in the community. Honestly, I am so inexperienced with this YouTube thing, but I'm going to go into my liked videos here. We were going to get into, or I was going to start talking about magic frequency. If you can see here, it's you probably can only see some of these words, but this will revolutionize our future. And what this gentleman is doing is hitting a tuning fork and showing that one fork resonates to the other, and it is the frequency of things. All right. Now, what he is showing here is when you strike a tuning fork, it resonates, against another tuning fork. I'll try and be brief about this. That when you find the proper frequency, like this gentleman here, he takes a glass, he gets the intonation of the glass, and then he speaks, or he uses that vibration to break the glass. And basically it's quite simple in that frequencies react to similar frequencies. This bridge began to vibrate one day because of the wind, and the wind took the bridge down. And because of the rocking and vibration, the intonation. And when you match the vibrations through experimentation over long periods of time, you can shatter things that are even smaller. Something really small that you need to see with a microscope. And so there are experiments that this person talks about that are done over many, many years, started back in the 40s and 50s, of finding the proper frequency and allowing this particular frequency to go on for a short period of time. You looked through the microscope to see if anything happened, watch for 5 minutes, and then adjust the frequency once again, a little bit more, a little bit more. So we try a 101, and then for a period of time, and so we try 102, 103, and so on. And over a course of 15 months, we try hundreds and hundreds of these frequencies, if not thousands, until we find the magic combination. And there is a chain reaction between the low and the high frequencies, which are being shown right here. To input two frequencies, one low, one high, and the higher frequency must be 11 times the lower. And I will leave this particular link in my description, and it shows how cancer cells are destroyed. And these are the first videos. They hadn't seen anything quite like it before, where they're using a frequency to destroy. And then we add the 11th, and we begin to shadow microorganisms like a crystal glass. And we know that cancer is vulnerable between the frequencies of 100,000 to 300,000 hertz. Pardon the screen jumping details, but you get the idea that steps are being made, and as well as how many entendre and innuendos, ideas that can be taken from these frequency by vibrations. Now you have human leukemia cells being shattered here in this one, and that pretty much goes to the end of the video. And so, yeah, this is a very effective video in detail in dealing with the use of vibrations. And as I began in this particular episode, energy. The vibrations that my words are producing and creating are energy. Once you find the right intonation to work with, see, he taps it and he gets the proper intonation, and then he hears it and replicates it with his voice into the glass, and the glass shatters. And so what we hear has a lot to do with what we see and what we do. The energy transfers. So I thought you'd find this interesting, and we'll get into the next part of this. So basically what I'm doing is going through my videos, and Jeff C. puts out a great video on the brainwashing that occurs. He really gets deleted from YouTube a lot. But I thought, the magic frequency was cool. Now this is Supreme Lord Commander. I suggest going to his channel and subscribing, because he always has some fantastic stuff. And in this one, he's talking about how mainstream media mixes details, and how this woman in The Walking Dead is actually going deaf, and so they wrote it into part of the script, and proclaim deafness as a strength, and to encourage somebody who has disability that their disability is a strength. He goes through some curious social information, and how the agenda is being swayed this way and that by the powers that be, to say that every disability we have is a superpower, and we should all have superpowers, aka we should all have disabilities. The turnaround of informational details. I have a sister that's going blind, and so for somebody who knows what he's talking about, I'm right in the ballpark with this, because it's so much a part of my world every single day, taking care of the situations around here, at the same time making videos. It's my vulnerability, and it's my great strength. So check out Jeff C's Vulnerability Equals Strength in the X-Men agenda, you might say, and the different parts that he sees in taking a powerful image, like construction worker or tough guy biker, and turning it into a reversal, you might say. Well, you will say, and I just did say. So check out the Supreme Lord Commander and the first words in the agendas that are being portrayed there. And so, as I mentioned, Now, Captain Kirk puts out some fantastic expositional videos on Captain Kirk's channel. Get a little exposition. This guy puts out some super work showing, I mean, there's just, as a picture is worth 1,000 words, this guy's informational videos are putting out trillions of words because of the number of pictures, his information sources, and just to sit and consider the work done in like one piece. If you stop and consider how all of the details in any one of these, I wouldn't mind just narrating through each one and, you know, breaking it apart. I don't have the screen close up. Maybe I've zoomed it in enough for you to be able to see. All right, and looking through these old images in Captain Kirk's work, I have often wanted to, you know, like, here you go. There's a big old gun sticking out of this, and it's very curious image here. And I don't read French, but it says Le Pavillon du Creusot. Right, and the way the guys are dressed, I wish I could get a close-up on that fashion. That is some serious fashion, babe. And, yeah, I like looking at these things. And the way that this huge cathedral back here is put together. The curing, when you consider... Oh, check that out. What was I going to say? And here we're making a gun, or a barrel, or what is this? Let's see. I can't quite see what it is at the base, but, that is... It's a camera? Is that a camera? That was the first Hubble space telescope, but it wasn't in space. It was just, I don't know what that is. But it is pretty daggone cool. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, so just watching these things in silence. Lance, you hear that? Silence? Who's with me? Can give you a lot of, I mean, so much informational overload. I mean, check out that dress. Holy criminy, it's beautiful. Yeah, I wish I had a closer picture of it. But this guy's probably checking her. He's just like, he looks like he's looking over here, but he's probably just side-eyeing that dress. It's beautiful. In Gay Paris. And no pun intended. So, all right, I wanted to, just show a few of these curiosities that Captain Kirk puts out. And as mentioned, I wouldn't mind just going through and narrating over a lot of these as I find curiosities, like the size of this vase right here in what I'm circling here. Who has a vase that big? And what kind of flowers would fit in that? I mean, seriously, why would you have a vase? I mean, it's just... Maybe it's just me, okay? Maybe you guys know and I'm like, cuckoo. I don't know. But I really wanted to show a little appreciation here for Captain Kirk's work. He does a lot. You can go through so many of these. And it looks like this is an artist with an easel over here. And this large tower with this little stack on it. Is that a watchtower within a watchtower or what? Yeah, just looking at some of the old details of the past on the Captain Kirk channel. So, right now looking into some of the architecture, if you go through a lot of these architectural details, you don't find that many anomalies. Necessarily, except for these hubcaps up top. What's that? Those rolling trays? Or, I don't know. Just wondered. They probably didn't roll back in those. Did you see that pentagram there? There's so much to look at in each one of these. Just intense amount of... Like these guys. They got the little huts going on down here, and it goes around over here to this huge structure in the background. Curious. Curious indeed. Curiouser and curiouser, said Alice. And now these are pretty cool. And this is a drawing. This is a sketch. But a sketch, what, from somebody's imagination or from actually looking at something? I wonder. Who sketched that sketch? And these lights, the lighting in itself, see how they emanate, you can see. It's not a candle, because if those were candles, that'd all be burning, right? Yes? Yes? Is the sun coming through the little cord? Just asking. And we really enjoy looking at these details and surveying the questions. I'm doing all that. What are they? Weapons up on the wall over here. You got a crossbow, you got swords, you got lances. Why, thank you. You got all sorts of weapons, and then you got your music and dancing, and these guys down here. Oh, these are musicians. Oh, that's an orchestra. That's a full orchestra right there. Super duper. Superunius. And here we have a military detail. Well, we're going to take over your land, see? And now we own this land. You're not going to do it, or else they're mustering up to go get the giants. And now here, this fireplace thing, where fireplace here, fireplace. Let's burn the place down. There's no way these are fireplaces. Or, if this is an indoor stove, which is, what is this? Oh, I don't know. That's got me. So thanks, Captain. Thanks a lot, Captain. Fascinating, Captain. So yeah, I wanted to just go through a couple of these architectural anomalies, details, and doorway information, and then get back into the next step of our haphazard universe, just to consider what is, was, and possibly will be. All right. Now, one concern is the 5G concern, and another concern is the tall woman concern, and quality women concern. Once again, that's Captain Kirk, gang. Dennis Branham does a lot of sky vids, and he's got a great cat. Let's see, where was I going to go with this? Megalithic circles and giants probably doing it. It's my opinion. 5 reasons the Vatican is run by reptilians, and this is curious. It's about architecture, and how the architecture is put together to look like a snake face. Well, okay, this isn't something that I want to get into particularly specifically, but I will, just because that's what I'm doing here. I'm running through my liked videos. And if you ever want to see what my productions are going to be, just go to this list and see what I've liked recently. Because that's where I get my ideas. Now here they're talking about the construction and the Vatican architecture in looking like a huge type serpent from the inside. Like if you look at the eyes on each side and then the mouth in the center. I'll pause it here. And yeah, you get it. It's, like he's sitting in the mouth of the serpent kind of a deal. And that's the viewpoint that you get when you walk into the place. Here's another view. And, he delivers the information from the, between the teeth, where the tongue would be, sort of thing. Now, this is the construction of it. So it wasn't done back. Now, if you look at the outside of the place, then you have this sort of, head of a snake, eye, serpentine sort of a setup, and then the looking from the where the Pope stands backwards, then you see everyone in head of the serpent. So it is pretty freaky when they put that together. And the symbology that we all have, and I hate to discount either side or even say the word hate. That's a terrible word. I don't always approve. And of course, this stuff in the back, man, who took the time to weld all that? I don't consider that to be an angelic looking thing personally. Personally, that's, in my humble opinion, I've drawn a lot of angels in my own life. Here's one of my angels I drew, and you see the difference between the feeling that you get when you look at this. This does kind of look ominous, in my humble opinion. No offense against the great snake, the Pope. However, I thought wouldn't be a bad idea to show you a little bit of this and get booted off of YouTube once again. So I go ahead and leave this link in my description. I hope it doesn't make anybody too upset, because we all just love Pope Francis. Now let's see, Hollywood predictive programming, mud flood, France, and the races. Now Jim Dillinger, once again, got to bring him up. He gets out there, boots on the street, check out his stuff with the mud flood. Okay, now this part's the 5G. The 5G, turning up the heat will fry us all. I look at the technology in my house right now. I've got a cell phone right over here. I've got a computer in front of me. I've got a smartphone or smart television to my right. Downstairs, mother has a phone. My sister's got a phone. All of these different smart products, and I'm not really sure if I'm being microwaved evenly, because, well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And yes, that was a joke. Turning up the 5G to fry us all. Look into the information. Look into the information. And the curiosity of whether we're being microwaved. Well, it's pretty much, I shouldn't laugh, but doesn't it seem like it's an inevitability that these vibrations are going to be traveling all over the place? Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to talk to people on the phone or watch your television or computer through Wi-Fi, because of the radiant energy that is being put out. So I'm not trying to go with the paranoia thing. I'm trying to go with the information thing. And the next video, which I'm going to be creating and actually putting some time into, well, you see, the thing is, if I put too much time into my videos, I really mess them up. I do a lot better if I just kind of hop in, go through the details like this. And Mount Rainier's Osceola mud flow is curious detail. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to look at these massive mud flow informational details on distance, and how it occurs, and what happens after. Because a mud flow occurs because it's going into a valley. I can tell you that much. It's not going to go over the high spots. It's going to, like water, it's going to seek the low spots and seek level. And how a volcanic reaction, you might say, releases a massive amount of mud and water, you may ask, as well. And that's part of what I'm going to do with this video, Mount Rainier's Osceola mud flow. If you want to check it out, then just go into my liked videos, and I will do a video on this next. But in this particular one, see, I just wanted to go through some of the theoretical thoughts and informational details. I want to give a big shout out to Martin Leedkey, now that we're talking mud flows. I'm glad to see him back, and I'm able to get back on his channel and watch his stuff again, which I haven't really gotten. I've been kind of busy lately, but in this one, I'd like to say this is the end of this one. We're going to be covering the mud flows, the Osceola area. And yeah, so I'm signing off, and thank you for watching this particular curious detail haphazard production. And like, comment, and subscribe, and share, just so I can get out there a little bit if you have time. Thanks for playing, gang. We'll talk to you soon. Adios, amigos.
Hello to my little friend.